In this video, we're going to look at integer subtraction using number lines. Let's begin by reviewing integer addition on number lines. So, integer addition, when we add a negative number, we're going to move to the left. And when we add a positive number, we moved to the right. So for instance, if I had negative 3 plus 4, I start at 0, I draw a line with an arrow to negative 3, and then starting at negative 3, I count back 4 spaces from negative 3, so I go 1, 2, 3, 4 because that's a positive 4. So then I draw a line 4 spaces, and I end up at 1. So negative 3 plus 4 is equal to a 1. All right, let's look at integer subtraction and what we are going to do. So when we start a problem modeling it on the number line, we always start at 0 and we move to the first number. That's going to be the same for integer subtraction as it is for integer addition. When we subtract now, we are going to move differently than in addition. When we subtract a positive, we're going to move to the left. When we subtract a negative number, we're going to move to the right. That movement on the number line for subtraction is the opposite of the movement that we do for integer addition. Okay, let's look at an example. I have 7 minus 9. I'm going to follow these steps up above. Step number 1 says start at 0. So we start at 0. And step 2 says draw an arrow to your first integer. That's the same as integer addition. So our first integer is 7. So I draw an arrow from 0 to 7. Now, this is the part that is different than integer addition. Starting at that first integer, draw a second line to the left if the second integer is positive, or to the right if it is negative. So this is saying subtract 9. Well, if I'm at 7 and I'm subtracting 9, I'm going back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 spaces, and I end up at negative 2. So 7 minus 9 is negative 2. All right, let's look at some more examples. I have negative 5 minus 3. So I'm going to start at 0. I'm going to go to negative 5 and draw my arrow. Now, starting at negative 5, it says subtract 3. Well, 3 is positive, so I'm going to go to the left 1, 2, 3. So I'm subtracting 3 from that negative 5, and I end up at negative 8. So negative 5 minus 3 is negative 8. Let's look at the next example. I have 6 minus 10. I'm going to start at 0 and go out to 6. So I start at 0, I go to 6. Now from there, I'm going to subtract 10. So I'm subtracting a positive, which means I'm going to move to the left. I'm going to move to the left 10 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I end up at negative 4. And let's look at the last example. In this one, I start at 4 and I subtract 4. And you can figure that out ahead of time. You know 4 minus 4 is equal to 0. But let's just model it on the number line. So I'm going to start at 0. I'm going to go out to 4. And now I'm going to subtract a positive, which means I'm going to move to the left. And I'm going to go back 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I end up at 0. So we know 4 minus 4 is equal to 0.